Today we're reading Numbers chapters 23 through 25. We saw Balaam first time in Numbers chapter 22, and his story continues here. Now, Balaam, by the way, was an evil prophet who, by the way, just happens to give a good prophecy. God just won't let Balaam place a curse on Israel as he's been called upon to do by the Moabite king Balak. Balaam does have, though, Balak to build 7 more altars for sacrifices. A third time, as a matter of fact. He'd already asked him to do it a couple of times as they overlook Israel. I guess he thinks that if they build another altar and circle the camp and look at Israel from another vantage point, that perhaps, well, I don't know what he thinks will happen, but he makes Balak go through the steps of doing that anyway. In chapter 24, he begins blessing, not cursing Israel. It gets kind of bizarre because he even gives a prophecy concerning all the nations who will fall before Israel in the future. Mentions several of the surrounding nations. Even issues a curious prophecy about Assyria. And let's face it, I mean, the plan to curse Israel failed because Balaam had no ability to curse Israel. Israel's relationship with God was one that they were righteous before God. Chapter 25, though, gets a little bizarre because it's completely related to chapters 22 through 24, but you may not see that immediately. The men go out on the town, the men of Israel, and there they meet some women. They have some relations with them, and they begin worshiping their idols. You know, God hates idol worship. By the way, why'd they do it? Well, Balaam had devised a plan. We don't see it till we get to Numbers 31, and we're told that's the case. But Balaam had devised a plan to make Israel unrighteous before God. And this using the women of the surrounding, the Midianite and the Moabite women, to entice the men into idol worship was Balaam's way of making Israel unrighteous so that God himself would curse Israel. What a sinister plan. Well, this brings us to the deal breaker here because one of the men of Israel actually brings one of these promiscuous gals right into the camp. She's even given, we're even given her name, Cosby, in this passage of Scripture. But Phinehas, the grandson of Aaron, son of Eleazar, he springs into action and runs a spear through them. Wow. And because of that, he gets a promise from God here that the future descendants of the priesthood will come through him. And that, by the way, takes a few centuries to unfold, but that's exactly what happens. And I should point out that the Zadok, the high priest during David's reign, and the future high priest during the millennium, Zadok, the descendants of Zadok, that's the line of Phinehas here from which future high priest will come. We see then that chapter 25 was an attempt from Satan to bring dishonor in God's eyes upon Israel and thus to have God himself curse them. Well, that's what's in today's reading. Hope you enjoy it. We'll see you tomorrow.